So the brake pads I'm going to be using are Neo and Theo ceramic, V Pro sintered, Summit semi-metallic, and Neo and Theo resin. And we're going to do tests at 15 miles an hour and 10 miles an hour to see which one is the best. So in order to test these, I'm using my Z brakes with a 203mm Ice Tech rotor, and I'm using a hill with a start line so I don't have to pedal. And then there's braking marks down at the hill for 10 and 15 miles an hour, and then I'll just brake fully hard with the front brake, and I'll be taking an average of 5 runs, and we'll see how the different pads compare. First two pads we have the Neo and Theo organic compound, the resin, and then here we have the V Pro sintered. So there's a bit of a difference here at the 10 mile an hour mark between the two. So here we have the resin, the Neo and Theo resin at 15 miles an hour, and here we have the V Pro sintered pads, and you can see there's a fair bit of difference between them. I have to say, braking just with a front brake at 15 miles an hour is quite scary, full on. Did a couple of endos and a few front skid brakes. So here we go, here's the front brake skid. Very scary. Right, so here's the results. Braking distance at 10 miles an hour with each of the 4 different compounds. You can see on average that the sintered is roughly double the distance that we were getting with the resin semi-metallic and ceramic on panic braking. So in this slide we can see the braking distance results at 15 miles an hour with the same 5 runs average plus the error bars showing you the variation between the different runs. And it's a similar story that we see in the first graph, where we have the sintered taking the longest distance with the resin semi-metallic and ceramic all roughly the same. But what you should notice is the actual difference between the sintered and the other 3 compounds. The percentage change there is a lot less than what it was at 10 miles an hour. If we then move on to a comparison between the compounds at 10 and 15 miles an hour, you can see that the sintered, the percentage increase going from 10 to 15 miles an hour isn't as big as what it is for the other 3 compounds. This obviously doesn't tell us how these pads would be on a trail, but what it does let us know is that for braking, the resin, the semi-metallic and the ceramic will not take as much pressure to stop for the same distance as the sintered. When I was doing this experiment, I was pulling full hard on the brake lever, and you don't do that out in the trail, your front wheel is going to wash out. What I have been using is the ceramic pads. I was at Demaya in Stirling a couple of nights ago, and the ceramic pads performed brilliantly. I didn't feel that they faded, got soft or anything else like that. They were really good. Time will tell to see how well they last, but I'm running ceramics at the moment. Thanks for watching.